Okay, so today we are having the seventh lecture, I believe sixth or seventh. So let's start with it. So today we are going to be having the discussion on e-supply chains, electronic supply chains, collaborative commerce, and the corporate portals. These, terminologies are a bit difficult, but they are very easy to understand because we all are going through these things on a daily basis, but we are not aware of the terms, right?
Yes,
Okay, so the learning objectives of today's lectures are first we'll go for the e-supply chain, that what is e-supply chain, and we are going to describe the components and the characteristics we are going to have for today's lecture. Then what kind of problems and what are their causes, and then we will enlist the solutions, that how, like, what kind of solutions we can bring, and we will have a talk on it as well, that if you are having any solution about supply chain problems by the e-commerce, so you can add them as well. And then the most important and the important heading of today is RFID supply chain applications, that what is RFID. Then we'll are going to talk about the c-commerce and list the major types, and we'll talk about the major kinds of c-commerce. And okay, so let's start with the e-supply chains, that what is the basic concept of e-supply chain, and what is supply chain, and what comes in your mind when you're talking about the supply chain. Like, what is chain? What is the simple meaning of chain, if I ask from you?
uh, passing from one person to another, connected.
Yeah, very, very good. It means the connectivity. It means that if you are having something, it's a chain, it's a information, or it's anything, it's any concrete objects which are connected together, and they are, connecting and making something very long. So it's a chain. So we have a terminology that is called supply chain. It means that we are supplying something, and it's a recursive process, and it's a long term process, and we are supplying the information, money, or services, whatever you can say, from one end to another end, and that another end can be anything, right?
Yes,
So the basic definition is the flow of materials. As I already said, materials, something concrete, something information, something abstract, money and services from raw material suppliers through factories, warehouse, or any portal or anything to the end customers is called supply chain. Now it can be anything. Like in ancient modes, what was supply chain? Like from one province or one, you can say, a council from to another council or another country or city. They were the kind of export via transportations, and they were supplying things, they were supplying the concrete objects. But yes, how they were communicating? Through through letters.
yes,
Now what are the means of communication? Now we have ample of means of communication nowadays, right?
correct.
So
Yes,
it's not that difficult to convey your message from one person to another, even to the multinational companies or any end to end customer.
yes,
Now, this is the basic concept of supply chain. Now, what is e-supply chain? The supply chain that is managed electronically, as we were talking about it, electronically, usually with the web technologies. For example, you, Mariam, is having any XYZ brand or any XYZ company, and she is having a very, very big, giant website, and everybody is connected through web technologies, and they are ordering things, or whatever they are doing it from it. So they are doing the e-supply chain. They're making the supply chain. For example, the basic example we are having nowadays is Amazon. They are doing
yes,
everything, and they are not directly connected to the manager. They are not directly connected to the you can say owner of the Amazon, but they are doing their own things. Even the owner doesn't know that how many companies are connected with the Amazon.
correct.
Okay, so e-supply chain is the state of the art chain. Now they have showed us the simple supply chain process, or you can say a flow chart. Even you can make it by your own self as well. Okay, now what is upstream and what is downstream, and there's a thing between. It is called internal process. The generic process is from upstream to internal to downstream. Now, what are the upstreams? In every organization there is a hierarchy, right?
Okay.
Like from subordinate to ordinate to ordinate to assistant manager to assistant manager, we have manager, then manager
Correct.
to CEO or CEO. Okay, so there is always a
Correct.
hierarchy. Then there are the few things which are the internal matters, which you can say a board of directors or the board of governance, like these. Okay, so they flow the information from one end to another. Then that decision is taken up to the downstreams, the who are the distributors or the retailers or the customers, or you can say who wants our product, or who wants, any company. It can be it can be any company or the buyers. Okay, so for example, upstreams are the sellers, and the internal process is called internal, and then the customers are called the downstreams.
Downstream. Yes.
Okay, and same happens to the manufacturer's process. If there is something which is a project, which is something concrete, for example, they've given us the example that if like we have plastic, we have oil refineries, we have pulp company, and we have paper company, and then for example, if you are selling oil, okay, then obviously
Yes.
you have to make vendors from the plastic company as well. Then you have to go for the printing as well. So there are multiple people who are involved in that product. It's not only the oil. Okay, then obviously you are going to assemble the manufacturers, and then you are packaging it, and then yes, then there are the shippers who are going to distribute to the distributors or retailers or the customers. Okay, so this is called the toy manufacturer's process. Okay, now what are the supply chain parts? Like you can say kinds, parts, or components. Upstream supply chain. No, we have already talked about it. That what are the upstream supply chains? They are the procurers. It's the process of procurement. The process made up of a range of activities which an organization obtains or gains access to resource, for example, materials, or skills, skillful persons, resource, you can say, capabilities, facilities they require to undertake their core business activities. So all the procurers are the main component of the supply chain part. They are the three major parts: upstream, internal, and downstream. So we have talked about the procurers who made this process, who make the activities, who make the materials to be shipped to the retailers. And then there's the internal supply chain. Okay, the all the internal processes, and then downstream means all the retailers, distributors, and the customers. Okay, now we have talked about supply chain, e-supply chain, their components and characteristics. So there is a simple definition. It seems difficult, but it's not. You can make your own definition and the own you can say essence out of it. What is the supply chain management? You can even make your own definition. So I would love to ask from you that what kind of definition you can make out of it after having after understanding the concept of supply chain. Simple is that the process you are making for the supply chain is called supply chain management. You would be aware of the skill management, the coordination, the activities, the shipment, and all the process is called supply chain management, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So a complex process, yes, it's a complex process because a huge vendors and a huge complex, can say methodology is adopted behind it. That there is nothing very easy to know to ship something to retailer or the to the broker or to the customer. There is a whole process behind it, and there should be a body behind it. So that body is called supply chain management. Without the managers, without the assistant managers, so you cannot you cannot have the supply chain management process smooth. And there are certain departments inside that supply chain management. For example, uh, there must be an IT personnel. For example, if there is no IT engineer involved in this process, you cannot make this happen. There is nothing like e-supply chain without the IT person, right?
Correct.
Who is going
Yes.
to handle the website, who is going to make the portal, who is going to troubleshoot the problem if some customer is having any problem, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there is always a few departments who are engaged and they make the supply chain management. So complex process that requires the coordination of many activities. Now activities so that the shipment of goods and services from supplier from the supplier to the customer.
Custom.
Customer is done very efficiently, accurately, because not only one person is behind that, there's a team behind it, and there should be a concern of every party. For example, someone is vendor, someone is distributor, someone is accountant, someone is IT personnel, right? So supply chain
Yes.
management aims to minimize the inventory levels and optimize productions and increases throughout decrease manufacturing time. Okay, so how supply chain management decreases the manufacturing time?
By use of machinery.
By use of machinery, yes. And
And
if there are lots of people who are working on a single project, that will it going to decrease the manufacturing time, or it's going to increase it?
it will decrease.
Yes. So there's always a team. There's always a very effective and a disciplinary team behind every supply chain management. Okay, so not a single person can, aim it. And then obviously it's going to optimize the logistics and distributions as well. There would be a separate team for the logistic problems and the distribution. And then there's a streamline, there's a discipline of everything, because there's a process. One is manufacturing, then distributing, and then yes, finance, and then you're going to have your product to the customers, and overall reduces the costs as well associated with these activities. Obviously, if you are going to decrease the time, it's going to decrease the cost as well, right?
Correct.
Okay, then e-supply chain management. Now we have, gone through the supply chain management. Now, what is e-supply management? Very easy. By the use of technology, if you're improving the supply chain management, then it becomes the e-supply chain management, right?
Yes.
So there are lots of successes of an e-supply chain management nowadays. First of all, it's going to, it improves the collaborations, because we are going to have the lots of options of partnership and strategic assets, right? We can
Yes.
explore the options, and then a well defined supply chain strategy, we can make a very very good strategy by using commerce. And then there's a visibility of information. We have portals now, we can track the things, right? If you order something, and then next day you are having the tracking, that where is your parcel.
Correct.
Yes, so it's called the
Yes.
visibility and the transparency of the product. Then yes, it increases the speed, it decreases the cost, it increases the quality as well, and the customer service as well. Nowadays customer service is very very much important. So I would be very happy if you are going if you can share any customer service experience with me.
About what I felt
Yes,
like
yeah.
after purchasing the product.
Yeah, after purchasing the product, physically or virtually.
Okay. Physically, whenever we go to the market to purchase something, so we have a habit of purchasing more. Like if
Mm-hmm.
we have a requirement of one item, we take it two. If anything is damaged or something like that, we have another one to use it.
Hmm.
Then we go to change the thing again back. So there is a easy way. They just check the thing and they take it away.
Mm-hmm.
So it is convenient for us to purchase two or three things extra. So
Hmm.
we don't have to just give a thought like whether we will purchase two three, and then if they won't take it back, then there will be a loss on our side. But
Hmm.
it is very easy, like for 3 days if we go, then they give us the cash back. And
Hmm.
if it is 7 days or 14 days, then they ask us to purchase whatever we want from the store.
Hmm.
So it is an easy way of exchanging the things and getting the thing. So this is the physical way. And then online also, when we purchase the thing, it is
Hmm.
easy. My husband just make a return back,
Hmm.
give the comment like this is not proper, and they take it back. So online also it is easy for us to return. But
Hmm.
one thing I've experienced in online was that we got they had an offer, like if we purchase this thing, then they will give a free gift with it. So
Mm-hmm.
we purchased that thing and we got the gift also, but the gift was not to the mark. So
Mm-hmm.
we asked them that what the gift what you have given us is not to the mark. Can you exchange it? So they took away, but they didn't give us the gift back. So this was the worst one, because it was good gift, but we have to return it back because it was not up to the mark. That's the thing.
Yeah, because
So
customer,
it's
yeah.
easy also, in the sense it is very good that we purchase it and we can return it at our ease.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's a bad experience as well.
Yeah, and we got to know that we don't have to shop again from this XYZ store.
Yes,
So nowadays it's very easy to examine or to assume that which store is better, which product is better.
correct.
It means that we have more advantages of e-supply chain management or e-supply chain as compared to the simple supply chain, right?
Yes,
Now, what are the activities and infrastructure of supply chain management? Supply chain replenishment, right? As you said that we can, really check the quality assurance thing. And then the e-procurement, we can easily procure the things by the electronic mean. And then supply chain monitoring and control using RFID. Now, in the next slide, we're going to discuss about RFID. Then you will get to know that what is that. Okay.
yes,
Inventory management using wireless devices. Nowadays, you can easily manage the inventory as well. You have a record, you have a data, you have Excel sheets by the wireless devices, right? And then, yes, we have
yes,
a collaborative planning as well. If you're collaborating with any company, then you have a fixed planning about that thing. Then we have a collaborative design and product development. We have a product specialist nowadays because 20 years back, 30 years back, it wasn't there. There wasn't any term like that, product specialist, right?
correct.
And then e-logistics. What does that mean? The simple thing that we have discussed just few minutes back, that we can easily order anything and we can have it at home.
Correct.
Okay, then the use of B2B, business to business exchange in the supply webs. So nowadays, everyone, by sitting at the home, they can do the business as well. They can have their product as well, and they can do lots of things. Now, e-procurement that we have already discussed. So let's have a detailed discussion on that thing. The use of web-based technologies to support the key procurement processes include requisitioning, sourcing, contracting, ordering, and a payment. Okay, now let's discuss about the payment. There are no, have you seen few options when you're ordering things? First is obviously the cash on delivery. Then they say that you can pay from your card as well. And there are lots of other you can say apps who say that you can have the installments of your product, right?
Yes,
There,
yes,
there is no only one way of paying nowadays. So there are several.
yes,
Then the e-procurement supports the purchase of both direct and indirect materials and employs several based functions such as online catalogs. We are very much aware of the online catalogs these days. Contracts, yes, purchases, orders, and the shipping notices. Shipping notices are, shipping notices contains the emails and the text messages we get to know, right? And then we
yes,
have collaborative planning. If you are a business practices which combines one or two partners, these are called the collaborative plannings.
Miss,
Yeah.
shipping that notice, yeah, shipping notice is the thing that we received about the shipment. Where is our shipment email?
Emails, yeah,
It's about
everything.
that.
For example, yeah, you are ordering something and immediately you got the email that yes, you ordered something and your order is
Uh-huh.
confirmed.
Okay, okay,
These kind of notifications, you can say.
okay,
Okay, then infrastructure of e-supply chain management, electronic data interchange that we were discussing about that thing, that for managing the inventory we have lots of now big data servers. So these are the electronic data interchanges. Then the extranets, intranets, corporate portals. We have lots of applications which contains the portals and which contains the information that you are the member of this the company, you are member of this brand, and you can have the offers of 10% discount and blah blah blah. Then we have workflow systems and tools for collaborative plannings and strategic plannings. Then groupware and other collaborative tools. Okay, determine the right supply chain strategy. Okay, so how can we you can examine that we are on the right path, that our supply chain strategy is very very much efficient and we are having the higher profits.
Uh, this is from the point of view of the company.
Yeah, company or a product or whatever you have, like what kind of business you have. How would you know that it's the right strategy and yes, you are successful and you are having a very good you can say collaboration or B2B exchange?
It's from the sale of the product.
Hmm.
Uh, if my product is having higher demand
Very
and
good,
it's
very
going
good.
fast,
Mm-hmm.
fast movement of the product, so from that I will come to know that the chain is proper.
Very good. It's very simple that if there's a demand, there's a high demand, and your the cost of the product is low, and you're having the higher profits, and there is a there's a high speed in demand, there's a stability, and you can predict the demand of you can forecast the demand. It means that you're on the right path. Okay, typical problems along with the supply chain. Now, what kind of problems we can face from the supply chain?
Like if I'm a manufacturer, then might be a raw material which I'm requiring take a time to reach my store, I mean manufacturing unit. So that will be a problem. The product will not be manufactured on time, and I won't be able to supply on time.
Hmm.
So that is one problem. Then machinery, maybe machinery not working.
Hmm.
There is a breakdown in that.
Hmm.
So repair and all that will cost me a lot, and it will again there will be a gap in demand and supply.
Very good.
Uh,
So these all you can have, like we can have the logistic problem as well. There must be some
yes,
problem in the logistic infrastructure as well. That that the product doesn't reach the destinations on time,
yes,
and there can be a problem of quality as well, as you said that the we can have the problem with the raw material as well. Now,
correct.
bullwhip effect is like there is a erratic shift in the orders. Orders. Sometimes you are having very high orders, and sometimes the orders are very very low. That there is no trend between the highs and lows.
Yes,
Okay. Now, what are the solutions? What kind of solutions we can have? Order taking. So we have to be very keen when we are having the order. We are taking the order. Okay. Then obviously, if you're taking the order, you have to fulfill it by any mean, whether you are having a loss in it, because you have to make your customer happy. And then you have to make
correct.
a very easy payment process. It can be electronic payment process, and then you have to manage the risk, because you don't have to show to the customer that you're having the risk and you're having any kind of you can say any kind of
Losses.
losses. Yes. And then inventories can be minimized. Okay, you have to manage the things that you can minimize the things and you can uplift you can say production. And the collaborative commerce, the more you can collaborate, the more your process would be smooth. Okay, now let's talk about the radio frequency identification. Now, what's that? Okay, have you ever noticed that when you are shopping something from the shop, from the brands, there's a tag on it, and you cannot
Yes,
go outside without it,
correct.
without removing it.
Yes,
So, what is that? It's a tag which identifies that this
product belongs to the particular shop.
particular shop, and you cannot have it. They
Yes,
can measure the distance even. So the tags that can be attached to embedded objects, you can animals or the humans as well. We wear smart watches. What are that? They're made up of the radio frequencies. Use
correct.
radio waves to communicate with the reader for the purpose of uniquely identifying the object or transmitting data or storing the information about the object, right? And that tag contains the information of the product, that how much is that, what is the product code. So this is the simplest schematics of RFID tag smooth supply chain. Let me ask about that. How RFID, this radio frequency identification, smooths the supply chain process. Like how it's beneficial to the supply chain process.
It has a record in the company, so
Very good.
anybody can check.
Hmm. It's like you
Uh,
can say that it's visible and transparent.
Yes, like if there is a if you talk about the stock of the particular product, then anybody from you, if you have many branches, then
Hmm.
any branch can check which branch is having more stock, and the purchase can be made from there. Or the if another branch is not having that product, then they can get it from that branch.
Hmm. Hmm. Very good. Okay, so obviously there are lots of advantages of technologies to the supply chain process because it makes you more it consumes the less time. It smooths the
Yes.
process as well. It reduces the human like human, you can say,
Involvement.
involvement and the human insertion as well. So it's very important these days. Now it's a simple flow chart which depends that how do you make it. So in the next class, I'm going to have a quiz of this thing, that if you are having any product, that how your product, your supply chain process is taking benefits from RFID. Okay, how it works.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, there's also an example that nowadays there's a like watch, or you can say a gadget which can even ensure the safety of the babies, newborn babies in the hospital.
Yes, correct.
Okay, now what are the limitations and what are the, you can say, drawbacks of the RFID? Like for small companies, the cost of the system is high because if their revenue is very small, how can they afford this technology? Like it's for the bigger companies. So this is the main drawback. Not even small companies can, the small startups or the companies, they cannot use it.
Yes.
Okay, the restrictions of the environment in which RFID tags are easily read. There are restrictions of the environment. For example, there's a hazard in the environment. You can say there's a weather problem, or you can say any harmful effect. So RFID cannot easily detect it. And there are different levels of read accuracy at different points along the supply chain, because there's a it's a radio wave. Radio wave doesn't have much frequency. You cannot measure the long distance from this technology. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and there is a customer privacy as well. Concerns over the customer privacy, because there are lots of customers who don't want to give their data, so they're afraid of it. So they have the privacy problem as well. So we have to go for the encryption as well in the future prospect. And then agreeing on the universal standards. Every system has a different features. So we have to agree on the universal standards and we have to make the international standards. And then connecting the RFIDs with existing IT system, right? Did you get it?
Yes.
Like every company have their own IT system, so we have to make a universal system or universal process which can, match all the processes and all the radio frequencies.
Miss, I didn't understood that point. Concern over customer privacy. How is customer privacy affected by this thing?
Okay, let's take example from this newborn baby security. There are lots of people, they don't want that, that the privacy of our family or family tree should not get leaked, right?
Okay,
Because
so
if it
the data of the baby is inserted in that
yes, yes,
RFID.
yes, yes, because that this is how they will get to know that it's their baby or something like this.
Hmm. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. Then the Ruby. Now, Ruby is like, what is Ruby? It's bi-directional, on-demand, peer-to-peer radiating transceiver protocol under development by the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. It's also a process. It's also a kind of a device which is bi-directional. It's more advanced than RFID. Okay. So there's a comparison sheet as well of Ruby and RFID. Um,
Ruby, where we can find it, ma'am?
like let me give you example. It's also it's same, but it has more like you can say frequency. They have good frequency, and they can, you can say their battery life is good. Okay, they both are the same,
Okay.
but they are more safe.
This Ruby K is inserted in the clothes as well.
Like it's kind of a, you can say, a little device.
Okay.
Okay. It has, Ruby has magnetic waves, radio waves, and RFID has radio waves. Okay. Ruby has low frequency, RFID has high frequency. Ruby has slower speed, and RFID has higher speed. Ruby has more battery life, RFID has short, battery life. It doesn't, it's not long lasting. And Ruby is like, it's more, you can say, used in the warehouses and the medical and the healthcare applications, livestock. You can, see all the applications. And RFID is used in the tracking and high volume scale scanning, and in ensuring the inventory is moving along supply chain is planned. Okay, they both have the different applications. And then
Okay.
tagging, in Ruby, item level tagging, and in RFID you can even tag the cartons as well. Okay,
Yes.
like if you see the safety issues, Ruby is more safe, and RFID is like, okay, they both are safe, but Ruby is more safe. And cost, infrastructure cost less than RFID, so Ruby is more cheaper than RFID.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the collaborative commerce, like the C-commerce. It means that two or more than two companies are collaborating with each other, and they are, having innovations, and they are making the e-commerce application. So they are, it's called the collaborative commerce. And collaboration hub, yes, we have a very, huge example, and we have already talked about it. Amazon. Amazon is a collaboration hub, ample of thousands of companies, they are working together or working separately, representing the one market, and that is Amazon, right?
Yes.
So it's called a C space. Okay, so that's all for today. I believe that with today's lecture was very heavy. We have gone through lots of heavy definitions and the concepts, and in the next class, inshallah, we'll be having a small quiz
Yes.
from this lecture. I hope that you have understood it well.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so let's end the lecture and have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Lapis.